Several people on Facebook have asked me how I made my homemade rollers for torch working, and these are used basically to hold up a piece of glass like that and roll it in the flame so that you don't stress your hand. When you're holding a heavy piece of glass out on an end of a long rod, it can be a lot of stress on your hand. So this is a great way to take away the stress from your hand. But these can be pretty expensive if you want to buy one. So I wanted to just go over how I made one out of wood pieces and these little rollers, which you can get these at any hardware store for a couple of bucks. And then this top part is obviously just a 2x4. So it's cut into a V, and then I figured out the right places to screw these in, drew some holes. And they have to be mounted this way or else you won't be able to get the screws in. So put them in diagonally like that. That way you can get them nice close together. But this block of wood basically just has two holes drilled straight through it. And you're going to want to use like a drill press or something to make sure that you get that hole straight through. Otherwise, it's not going to move up and down very well. Then the base has these knobs and these 1/4-inch bolts. So these 1/4-inch bolts are like 6-inch bolts, and you can get these at any hardware store. And they just have regular hex heads on the bottom. I put a washer to keep everything nice and straight, and then on the top I use these blind nuts and these handles. So these blind nuts and then these big handles. The reason I use blind nuts is because I want to be able to get this all the way down. So it'll screw all the way down. There's nothing blocking it. And then, you know, it's pretty easy to move it back up. And the base is simply a piece of like medium density fiberboard, I guess, MDF, and it's just cut out of a square, basically like this. So I cut out a square of MDF, and it's what, 6 inches? So you cut out a square, and then the feet, like these feet, are really just the pieces that I cut out of the square. So basically just take a piece of paper or something exactly the width of the crossbars that you want, line it up with each corner, draw your edges, and then for these little corners I just kind of estimated these, and then put them together with glue and basically just sanded the edges until they sort of match. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right, and this basically cost me like probably 15 bucks and maybe an hour of my time. So that's a little bit better than spending $150 on a set of rollers. And these are as good as anything. Now they are wood, and so obviously if you stick them in the fire, they're not going to fare as well as metal. But you know, a lot of wood tools can be used for glass blowing. It's totally fine. It'll get charred a little bit, but that's fine. And these work great. I use them all the time whenever anything gets heavy. And if you have any questions about how to make them, just let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them. But I think getting a good look at it on video probably should help you understand that it's actually pretty simple.